While the Leapfrog tag system is for those that are more traditional and prefer books, bringing it to the kids in a new wave sense is the Leapster2, a games console with a very educational focus. Now, the idea Leapfrog say is that it mixes edutainment, entertainment and education, i.e. edutainment, look what they've done there, to the kids without them realising it. So rather than a DS where you have possibly the chance of answering a couple of maths questions through brain training, but the majority of it's like sort of silly plumbers running around doing not much, everything here is aimed at teaching maths, English and other key subjects to them without them realising. So what's it like? Well, it's big. As you can see, it's almost as if it's eaten about 5 Nintendo DS's, but hey, that doesn't matter. Now the screen isn't great quality, but hey, it's kids, who cares? So you get a stylus, it's touchscreen. Now there's a number of features. One is that you can add more games via a cartridge-based system at the top, include the wonderful SpongeBob SquarePants, and there's also a load of other Nickelodeon titles, and for Star Wars fans around there is also Clone Wars exclusively to this device for a games console point of view. Who would have thought Star Wars and maths would go together? In addition to that, you can also get an adapter to play SD cards, so you can put music or actually videos on here for the kids to be entertained with. And then there's actually some games on board, so for mum and dads looking to pay the £60 out of the box, at least you can actually play something rather than having to buy a cartridge straight away. Now where the Leapster comes into its own is with the addition of a USB socket for your computer. Now the idea is once you've done some playing, you plug it into your PC, it then connects to a Leapster world where as a parent, and this is where it gets really cool, you can actually check the performance and how your child has done on the games that he or she has played. Now some might say this is all very sort of George Orwell 1984 Big Brother stuff, but for me I think it's a great way of being able to track to see whether your kid is actually doing quite well at maths or whether he's just a very good or not so good speller. Now you'll be able to get like this report card on a weekly basis, check what's going on. It will also give you suggestions of other games, not surprisingly from a marketing perspective, but other games where you can increase your child's skills on their weaknesses, etc. And I think it's a really good way of getting parents to see how their child is doing from a learning perspective. And that's the Leapster2. So what do we think? Well, both products are pretty innovative, to be honest. We haven't seen anything from any of the competitors such as VTech or even Nintendo for that matter, certainly on the Leapster2. I think while the console itself is quite basic, the screen isn't great, the whole online connect element is quite clever. I think certainly for parents who want to have their children play computer games but at the same time want to feel involved in the learning process, which I think has got to only be a good thing, it's certainly one of those things that will help. And at £60, you know what, is not really going to break the bank that much. The tag thing, we love it. Okay, there are some critics out there that no doubt are going to turn around and say, but I enjoy reading books to my children. That takes away that fun. Well, you know, I don't think it's about that. I think it's about keeping them quiet in the back of the car, certainly on the long road down to Cornwall or something. It's about getting them to learn individual words. It's about getting them to think about rhyming and words and stuff. And the only real complaint we have about the tag system is that when we press the letters, for example, it wasn't phonics. And, you know, that's the way it's all sort of going. So I'd like to see that in perhaps a different revision. There's also that question about locality. And
enough information.
you're probably from up north, and someone talking the Queen's English might not be your idea of teaching your child how to talk the way you want it to talk. Other than that, though, I think it's a brilliant idea, and certainly with books such as Cat in a Hat and Paddington Bear and other titles coming along, it's certainly going to have lots of interest further down the line, rather than just Ozzy and Mac have some fun. Well, that's it for this week. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Why don't you tune in next time for more news, reviews, tips, tricks, opinions, and much more. I'm Stuart Miles. This is Megawatt TV. Thanks for watching.